I've been playing a lot of Age of Empires 4, and I fell in love with the HRE. I fucking love them. But they're not the greatest out there, you know. They're not very good, and a lot of pros are saying the HRE are probably one of the worst countries to play. So I was thinking, I got brainstorming because the pros have wronged me. My RTS skills consist of playing StarCraft to like gold, and I was a damn good Terran, alright? So now I'm taking my skills over to Age of Empires 4. I'm gonna bring home the gold for the HRE. All the other civs are gonna pale in comparison to my amazing build. Now here's the game plan. Build a prelate. Rush feudal. Build and upgrade men-at-arms. Harass the enemy with 4 men-at-arms and grow your army with reinforcements. Ram ranch when the HRE ball is big. Win. So obviously this build is unstoppable. Like, how could anyone contest a bunch of upgraded men-at-arms showing up to your base? You know, you got a few rams ramming it all up in that ranch, and you just can't contest it. I don't know how you could possibly beat. So what do we do in a sea of French, where all there is HRE versus French, or English versus French, or Mongols versus French, or French versus French? Here's what we do. Egg's general HRE guide to not die to the Frenchies. Step 1. Rush the fuck out of spearmen. Step 2. Micro the fuck out of the spearmen. Step 2.5. Build towers if the French player is a micro god. Step 3. Once 8 spearmen are built at 6:30, transition to man-at-arms. Step 4. Cry, wall off, rush castle age. Step 5. Make mangonels and pray he didn't macro. Step 6. Defend the timing attack or lose to the superior French economy. If there isn't a timing attack, it's a macro game, and we've lost because we've put all the wrong resources in all the wrong places. So, let's take an adventure to see how this build has grown and developed, and how successful it really was against players who don't know how to execute the build properly because we're all in low elo. Everybody is French.
No.
Happy, so when I start playing, I should start playing as French.
Yes, if you want free wins, you play as the French, and then you make horses, and you win. So, standard stuff, you rush feudal age, and you get a barracks to be completed when 4:30 rolls around, because you want to match the barracks timing with when they're going to complete their stables, quote-unquote. And I pop-capped myself. It's already a disaster. You see that shit? It's not completed at 4:30! I don't know what I'm doing! You crossing map with the knight? Yes, he is.
How does that make you feel?
Very sad. The choice to go double racks here eludes me to this day. I don't know what I was doing. I really don't. What kind of build order is this? You should never trust a knight that's just chilling near you. I don't know why I trusted it. Did that villager just kick him? So, at this point, if he was producing knights constantly, he should have around 5 or 6. I would not have enough spearmen to deal with it, but since he wasn't doing that, I have enough spearmen to deal with it. You know, 5 spears and a scout and a fucking prelate trying to fend off the French. At this point, you kind of just play a wild goose chase with the knights. It would just be easiest to leave like a small group of knights with each, or not knights, a small group of spearmen with each location, like the wood line, the gold deposit, and the mill. I somewhat did that, but I didn't know how to unhotkey things at the time, so every time I hit the 1 key, the spearman would move with it. So I decided to see if the spearman and the prelate would be enough. So 16 spearmen, I believe I'm 1-1 at the moment, and I'm going to use the prelate to heal the spearmen as they're fighting. It doesn't look like it's going to be enough. But the spearmen in a fair fight did do a lot more damage than I thought. Again, if I was against a higher elo player, I probably would have just he probably would have just charged and then ran away and then charged and then ran away. So then every time I would brace, he'd just run away. Alright, let's see if we can break him open. So, you guys know the drill. 20 fully clothed pikemen in the showers at Ram Ranch. Like, what else are we supposed to do in this situation? Macro? So the first attack didn't succeed. The answer, more spearmen, more pikemen, basically the same thing. Bunch more rams, a lot more ranching. In conclusion, ram the ranch. Rules of nature!
Is it annoying going against that many people who run the French?
I mean, I'm kind of just waiting for the balance patch.
What's gonna happen in it?
I don't know.
Oh no.
Barracks was almost on time. Oh, there he is. I don't know why the French players think they can just roll up into people's cribs like this. So at this point, I realized I could probably build some towers since I'm floating a ton of wood anyway. I could just put a tower at every gathering point. So that way, when the knights do show up for a drive-by and they run away from the pikemen, the villagers just pop into the tower. He's coming in from that angle. He tries again, but this time I have the tower strategy. The success is through the roof, other than that one villager that totally could have gotten slaughtered if he didn't pull away. Oh, his walls aren't up. Looks like a good time. So, if you ever want a power move on someone, just build a ram in front of them. Might be a successful defense, so I might have to go castle. It is a successful defense, but he's in shambles. Afterwards, we had a nice, I guess you could say, respectful siege. Okay. Interesting. Might as well jump. Another French player. So this game, I successfully got the spears up. I successfully walled off. I got everything right except for the barracks timing. And I was like, you know what? It's Hillendale. I might as well macro up. You know, 2 TC. We'll just go. We'll go, you know? Here I am, beaten by my own ram. I am the one being ranched. This is why we don't macro. This is why we only ram push. Non-stop. Never stop ram pushing. Can we just stop picking French? Please? Seems like we got a dirty French player.
We got an English and a French.
Alright, time to do the I think the French is cavalry rushing me without actually knowing he's cavalry rushing me build. What is this? French player. He's late on his School of Cavalry. Only 3 vills on it. I wish I could see if if buildings were producing something. Let's get to sit here and watch. As he may or may not build something out of it. It's idle, I think. I don't think he's actually producing anything out of it. Nope, yeah, he just put out a knight. So he is doing the strategy. It's real annoying. His cavalry's missing. He's on the move. So this is a great example of the finalized build. I finally got everything set up properly. I got all the towers in place. So yeah, he's at my border.
I have 3 men-at-arms. I can give you one.
No, you need to keep them at home.
In the process of reaching it, I'm about to pull everybody off the wood and send them to it.
Actually gonna go double barracks because I'm pretty sure that he's gonna all in this. So moving the spearmen where you think the cavalry is gonna go next is very important. What you want to do with the spearmen that are being produced at the moment is to put those in a location to where if he decides to turn around and try to go back the way he came, there's gonna be like 4 spearmen in the way. Move your villagers preemptively, and there's nothing he can do about it.
You're pushing him towards me.
I know. He's probably going to come to you now that he knows that he can't push me. I can cross map, but it's probably going to put me in a pretty bad spot, but I think I'll be fine now that I'm double barracks. I'll move my scouts into the fog to see where he goes. What's he planning to do? Move your wood line, yeah.
He's gonna fuck up all my villagers.
Yep. Welcome to the French at higher elo. It's real fucking annoying. Oh, if he's gonna go in that corner, I can kill him.
Get back on food.
There he is. I almost got one of his cav. Do we not have a blacksmith? God damn it. I believe I only lost 2 villagers because they were out of position. I'm not too sure about my ally, but I would say this is a relatively successful defense. Though I have invested a lot more than he has. So now that I'm going men-at-arms, I should be countering if he goes archers. I might actually just be able to outright kill him because he invested a lot into that for a very little gain. I disagree with you, past me, but we have different opinions, and I can respect that. 2 troops together. But I have a lot of spears now. I'm actually just going to cross map. I have the protection at home to deal with anything he throws at me. Oops, not what I needed to do, but I'm going to disrupt him anyway. I totally meant to send all of these guys in before the rams were built. You know, just a display of strength, a display of skill. What's his plan? He's aging to age 3. I'm gonna shift to an all-in. If I can delay him enough, we may be able to have you pull back into the game, because if I can slow him down, I don't think his teammate's gonna be very helpful.
I just need more food.
He might have an upgrade advantage on me, which is gonna suck, but I'm hoping I have enough trash to deal with him. Oh, goodbye, Scout. I need to hit him before he gets siege. If he gets siege, I just lose. What I'm referencing here is Springolds and Mangonels. Springolds destroy rams really quickly. Mangonels do AoE to all of my infantry, and I just die. This should be good. I'm moving in. Wait, when are my upgrades finishing? Yeah, right now. I'm going. What's important here is that the rams survive. If he decides to pull all of his villagers to try to kill the rams, you have to use your infantry, your men-at-arms, and your spearmen to make sure that those rams do not go down. If you can, select the spearmen to deal with any kind of cavalry, and then you use the man-at-arms to deal with the infantry, or any kind of ranged unit that is threatening the spearmen. So here, he pulls the villagers, but I don't think he fully committed. He didn't really understand the gravity of the situation of, I'm here to fucking kill you. So, he decides to run his villagers away, which was a pretty big mistake. But my ram micro is very questionable because I immediately lost a ram. What I did with my reinforcing waves is I used them to build another ram. So if another ram does go down, I still have kill pressure on him because I'll have 2 rams, and if the third ram survives, that's perfectly fine. I get to have a payday on him. So here, the ally of, because it's a 2v2, the ally shows up with a bunch of longbowmen. But remember, I transitioned to man-at-arms. Longbowmen don't do shit to man-at-arms. Especially upgraded man-at-arms. So, like, you know, it's just my big brain expanding so big that I beat the English as well.
Did you kill him?
He dropped from the game. He's tilted.
Like his connection went out?
There it is. No, he knew he lost. This build's very viable against French players. Like, I don't know why higher level players aren't doing it. Like, what am I missing? Skill. That's what you're missing. I understand that he had 2 less cavalry, or heavy cav, than he needed to. But I also, by the time he has 5, I have 12 spearmen. And towers to defend all of my villagers. So, like, I don't get it. But it is a blind build, so that means if the French doesn't do that, I think I get outscaled. Yes, you do, past me. Good observation. So, what we've learned is that ramming is good. The French is better, especially if they are a good player. And, don't go late game. Just ram them. If they decide their strategy fails, you go in and you ram them. And you hope to God they don't hit Castle Age and buy Springolds. Big shields, big swords, big rams.